Hello everybody! Are you guys ready for some story time? Mr. Duck is. So we've got 3 books today, all about numbers and counting. So Mr. Duck is here to join us for the first book, 5 Little Ducks. So let's just set Mr. Duck here. Oh, there you go. There you go. Sleepy duck. All right, let's get started. 5 Little Ducks. 5 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother Duck said, "Quack, quack, quack." But only 4 little ducks came back. Oh, look at that 5th duck. See, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 little ducks. But that 5th duck just wanted to go hang out with that beaver. Well, now we have 4 little ducks who went out one day over the hills and far, far away. Mother Duck said, "Quack, quack, quack." Oh. But only 1, 2, 3 little ducks came waddling back. There's a 4th duck here, and that 4th duck went to go hang out with the cow. Cows go moo. Well, now we have 3 little ducks. 1, 2, 3. Who went out one day over the hill and far, far away. Mother Duck said, you all know it, "Quack, quack, quack." But only 1, 2 little ducks came waddling back. What's that 3rd duck doing? Hanging out with a crab. Well, 2 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far, far away. Mother Duck said, "Quack, quack, quack." But only 1 of her little ducks came back. There's 1. That 2nd duck there went to go eat some berries with the rabbit. Mama Duck looks so worried. She went out one day with 5 ducklings, and now she's only got 1. 1 little duck went out one day over the hills and far, far away. Mother Duck woes, "Quack, quack, quack." But no little ducks came waddling back. Sad Mother Duck. She went out one day over the hills and far, far away. Mother Duck cried, "Quack, quack, quack." But then all 5 of her little ducklings came back. Yay! The end. That was great, don't you think? Oh, Mr. Duck thinks that went great too. So up next, we've got a new friend to join us for our next story. Boop, 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 boom. You might recognize him. It's Pete the Cat. We've got Pete the Cat and his 1, 2, 3, 4 groovy buttons. Okay, Mr. Cat, I'm going to need you to move over just so everyone can see the book. All right. Pete the Cat and the 4 groovy buttons. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. My buttons, my four groovy buttons. My buttons, my four groovy buttons. It's his favorite shirt. Oh no! One of the buttons popped right off. Bloop! And just rolled away. Oh no! How many buttons are left? Well, let's see. On his favorite shirt, we have 1, 2, 3. 3 buttons are left. Because 4 minus 1 is 3. Did Pete cry? Oh, goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his favorite song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Oh no! Poof! Another button popped up and rolled away. How many buttons does Pete have left? Can you count with me? We've got 1, 2. 2 buttons left because 3 minus 1 is 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He just kept on singing, my buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? I see 1. How many do you see? 1 button. Because 2 buttons minus 1 button is 1 button. But did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He just kept on singing his song. My button, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. But then his last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Can you count with me? None. 0. No buttons. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? His belly button! And he just kept on singing. My button, still have my belly button. My button, I still have my belly button. Whew. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. The end. Thanks, Pete, for joining us. We've got 1 story left. Are you guys ready? Because we have another guest joining us for the last book. Who? Bom bom, bom bom, bom 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 bom. There's a shark. Because our last book is 3 Little Fish and a Big Bad Shark. Once upon a time, there lived a mama fish and her 3 little fish. There was Jim, Tim, and Kim. It is now time, said Mama, for each of you to make a home in the deep blue sea. So off they went. First, little fish named Jim swam away and met a seahorse playing in some seaweed. Can I have some of the seaweed so I can build a house? Take as much as you can carry, said the seahorse. Jim gathered the seaweed and made a weedy little house. Oh, that sounds like fun. But then comes the big bad shark. Jim had finished building his seaweed house when he heard the big bad shark knock on the door. Little fish, come let me in. The little fish trembled and replied, Not by the skin of my finny fin. Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in. Rawr. So the big bad shark munched and crunched, and he ate up every bit of seaweed there was to the house, and Jim swam away just in time. Yay! Rah, what a big bad shark. Soon, Jim found his brother Tim, and Tim said, Don't worry, Jim, we fish stick together. You can help me build a sandy little house. They're going to live in a sand castle. Jim and Tim had just started to relax in the sandy house when the big bad shark came roaring by. Little fish, come let me in. To which the brave little fish replied, Not by the skin of my finny fin. Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in. Oh no, do you think a sand castle's gonna stop a shark? No! So the big bad shark munched and crunched until he got a sandy mouthful, and the house crumbled. Rawr. Jim and Tim swam and swam. They're gonna go see their sister, Kim. And Kim was setting up her house. It was an old wooden ship. The big bad shark destroyed our houses. Don't worry, you can live with me, said Kim. And they did. And soon, the big bad shark came back. And he knocked on their door. Little fish, come let me in. To which the smart little fish replied, Not by the skin of my finny fin. Then I'll munch, and I'll crunch, and I'll smash your house in. Oh no. Well, the big bad shark, he munched and he crunched, but he couldn't smash the house in, and all of his teeth fell out. The three little fish were safe at last, and the shark was eating a lot of seaweed. The end. Alright guys, that's the end of Storytime today. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!